station, but don't forget about watching us, which you can do on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV and our SuperTalk Mississippi news team, and they're always covering your Mississippi stories. We want you to stay up to date, so sign up for our free weekly newsletter over at supertalk.fm/newsletter. And one of the familiar voices with SuperTalk Mississippi News, Mr. Caleb Sailors, is joining us today to take a little breath of fresh air and tell us something good, man.
That's right. Rebecca, not a lot of good things. I've got a lot of good things to tell you today.
Not a good way to start.
But I will tell you, I have spent the majority of my weekend and then early part of this week talking Ole Miss fans off a ledge after Saturday because I was there covering the game. Yeah, a lot of people ticked off, and I'm like, guys, you know, it's just one game. Y'all just brace yourselves. But you know what? I will tell you what, Rebecca, when the new week started, and I am really, really craving biscuits and syrup. And you know where I'll be able to get that? Where you'll be able to get that? Any of us will be able to get that this
place
week? The Mississippi State Fair.
Or to get it free, should I say.
To get it free, right. Yeah. In this economy, anything free is good, right? But the not just the biscuit booth, though. We've got the entire Mississippi State Fair returning for the 165th edition. Crazy, right? One of the best state fairs in the country. I mean, I go literally every single year. I don't think I've ever missed it. I mean, since I was
definitely a family tradition for us as well.
I think before I was even born, I was going to the fair. So yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to have a good state fair this year, I hope. You know, they've made it their mission. Officials have to have a surge of law enforcement so people feel safer. There's more security guardrails you have to go through to get in. There's a curfew for people 18 and younger. And so they're trying to make people feel safer and more welcome to the fair. We've got pretty good entertainment lineup. If you're into older folksier music, the Oak Ridge Boys will be there. Christian music, Matthew West will be performing. We've got Drew Hill. And so good entertainment lineup. A lot of the festivities, a lot of the the petting zoo, and then of course the rides and all the food. I know as a dietitian you probably like cringe looking at some of the food options at the fair, but man, I'm telling you what, I am looking forward to getting a foot-long corn dog. You know, that's one of those things, if you just stick with it for when the Mississippi State Fair comes around, then obviously it's not going to be that big of a deal. And you shouldn't be eating foot-long corn dogs and I'm sorry. And all the things all year long. Do you have a tradition, Caleb, for the fair? Like, is there something when you go, it has not been a trip to the Mississippi Fair until I go look at the antique car show. Really? I love the antique car show. I'm an old soul, Rebecca, and I'm not a big car guy, which is crazy. Like, I know people that are really into cars. I'm not one of those guys. I don't know. My grandpa and I did that. He passed away in 2019, so it was a family tradition that we had. We would always go to the state fair and look at the antique cars. And so, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a nostalgic thing for me, but I cannot go and not look at the antique cars. For years in the Trade Mart there used to be like a sand art setup where you could go and like the little kids, and I think you paid like a small fee, but you would get a little container, different styles, and then you would pour the sand in, the different colors. And I think for like 5-6 years or so, I mean, every year I would leave with one until I don't think it's there anymore. I've looked for my kids the last several years, and it's not there. But I remember that being something very associated with the Mississippi State Fair, and look forward to. So whoever sand people, bring it back. Like, bring back the colored sand. And the Trade Mart's changed so much too, so it's hard to find a lot of things that were once there. I know there was a pretzel dip station. They made various dips that you dip pretzels in. It's kind of a niche market, but my grandmother and I would always get that. It was awesome. But yeah, and then of course I love to support my local businesses. I always get the chicken on a stick at Penn's. It's weird. I know I can get it year round at Penn's, but I never get it unless I'm at the Mississippi State Fair. So if you're there, support your local restaurants, local vendors, local businesses, because they do work hard and they're deserving of our money. But I do, that's one of my traditions as well, as the chicken on a stick at Penn's. And we end it with the trip around the top. Yes. Type ride, that's like when my girls know once we get on it, then this is it. The fair is over. We're headed sort of home. I can't remember, what's it called? Whatever is up the top. The skyline. I don't know the exact nomenclature, but to see it all right at dusk whenever the lights go out. Yeah. And our news team will be there when they cut the ribbon for the groundbreaking ceremony. Not groundbreaking, but the ribbon cutting ceremony for the state fair, and we'll give you all the details there. I will, at some point before the state fair starts, I'll have a guide, so keep up with us at supertalk.fm for a full guide to this year's Mississippi State Fair. But I'm excited, Rebecca. I go every year, and I know it's a big tradition, especially here in the state. You know where else you can get something good to eat is at baseball, although we're in football season. But we should get excited about
baseball season. I don't know if it's next year or the next that it's
this coming year.
So
May.
This coming year.
May 8th.
And we have a name.
Right. The Mississippi Mud Monsters are the Frontier League team. I know. But here's the good thing, though. If you're into catfish, they will more than likely have catfish at the stadium with a name like that, the Mud Monsters. And maybe they have a cute, cartoonish catfish mascot. Maybe name him Muddy or something.
Sounds terrifying.
I will tell. Rebecca, I remember in 2019 when going back to Ole Miss when they debuted the Land Shark, which is no longer a thing anymore. They got rid of Tony. I remember children were screaming and crying when they debuted this thing. Now the Mississippi Mud Monsters have an opportunity to do the opposite of that. Do a cute, fluffy, friendly-looking, fish that kids will like. But
so you're saying don't make him look like Swamp Thing.
That's
right.
what I'm saying. Like, you can make a catfish look friendly, or we can make him look terrifying.
And let's not do that. But I believe May 8th is supposed to be the opening date. But this coming May, and they will. The cool thing about the team too, Rebecca, is they're prioritizing getting young players from the state of Mississippi. Going to be utilizing our wonderful colleges. We've had 2 national champions in the last few years, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Southern Miss always has a good baseball team. And then our JUCOs, we got really good JUCO baseball in Mississippi. Our HBCUs that have produced good baseball players too. So one thing that the Mississippi Braves really couldn't do as a farm system for the Atlanta Braves, the new Frontier League can do and get more of an emotional attachment. So you'll see more players from the Magnolia State on the team. And they're hoping to do that to draw more people in, draw bigger crowds.
Do we know the colors yet? You may not.
I have no idea yet. Yeah. But once we know the color scheme, we will be the first to tell you at SuperTalk.fm. But I do know the name is the Mud Monsters, and that was by a fan vote. So the fans, the people of Mississippi voted. And, I don't always agree with my fellow voters. I voted for the Grits to be the team name. But you know what? I'll be out there supporting them.
Well, but it also makes good sense, too, because they can have fish fries, all the things. So, it can.
They used to do Taco Tuesdays and stuff. They can do Fish Fry Tuesday. They can do something fun with it. And they plan to use Trustmark Park, too, more than just as a baseball venue. More concerts, more events, they're planning to do Christmas and holiday-themed events. They could possibly do haunted houses and stuff out there, but they're planning to make it a multi-use facility.
Is that when the cat comes out, the catfish?
Yeah, they debut the catfish for the haunted house. But, just to get the community more engaged in not just baseball, but just getting everybody together.
It's a phenomenal location, and it's a great facility.
Right off the interstate, easy access and everything.
Yeah, it should be better utilized. Well, that's cool, Caleb. What else we got?
James Earl Jones, sad story that he passed away, but he was honored in Congress. Our local delegation, Mississippi-based Senators Cindy Hyde-Smith and Roger Wicker, led the initiative to honor him for his contributions to the arts. Obviously, we know the voice, the infamous voice. We in the news team, we try to sound good with our radio voices.
You'll never be that good.
No, thank you. That's true. I'm not offended by that in the slightest because, I can't come tell someone, if you build it, they will come. And have that gravitas to it.
Have you ever listened to him read the Bible?
No.
There's apps for that.
I need to.
Oh, my gosh. If you, honest to goodness, it is the most just eloquent, beautiful. He reads it like a story.
Oh,
it's
man.
Just, if you need, if you're looking for something fresh and new to do, or in terms of getting in that time, or just want to be serenaded by him, listening to him read the Bible is one of the most iconic things he's ever done that I don't think ever got enough attention.
Might be terrifying to listening about when the Red Sea was parted.
Well, he's got. Yeah, I would definitely start with the Old Testament.
I know. I need to go into Exodus and hear about the Red Sea being parted and everything. Yeah. Wow. No, but that's really neat. But we know the voice from The Lion King, just infamous line, Star Wars, Field of Dreams, as previously mentioned, and it just shows the level of talent Mississippi has produced. Him coming from a small Delta town of Arcabutla and, just rising to the scene, becoming one of the most infamous voices, and then another popular Mississippi voice like Morgan Freeman. We've produced so much talent here in the state. It's really cool to see it being recognized for what it is.
I love too all the tributes that came out of just what a good person James Earl Jones. Thank you. It's Monday. In that way. What other good headlines may we find if we find ourselves slipping over to supertalk.fm and hitting that lifestyle button?
We've got a lot of things going on at our museums. The Museum of Natural Science will be hosting an archaeology expo coming up next month. So if you're into archaeology, into that, they do a lot of these events. I mean, I honestly encourage Mississippians. We're so spoiled with the Museum of Natural Science, with the Children's Museum, with our museums downtown, the Mississippi History and the Civil Rights Museum, rather. We're so blessed to have all of these that we can just constantly learn more about our state, learn more about our natural history.
They now have their dino thing that's up. So if you've
Right.
got kiddos that are into dinosaurs, and you've got the fall break coming up for parents with kids in school, get out and go see that.
Right.
But if you're looking for a little happy in your life, where do we go, Caleb?
SuperTalk.fm/news/lifestyle, something like that. Just go to our website and find us in the lifestyle category.
Oh, always a good time having you here, Caleb. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
guys
Rebecca.
stick with us. We got more for you up next.